Hi, happy Friday everybody, and welcome to flag 46. Oh crikey, there's not that many left now. I'm still feeling quite autumnal, and all the leaves are in the garden. We've done a load of jobs clearing up leaves and stuff like that. I thought it'd be quite nice maybe just to do a leaf. I know we did one that was a little bit autumnal for week 44, but I love leaves. So what I've done is I've had a bit of a root round in my stash, and I'd got some little scraps of Yorkshire tweed. So I thought, right, I'm going to use that because I don't think I've used any tweed. Oh, I did right back in week 31 when we did the Yorkshire buttons. I had some tweed in my background, so it's a while since I've used some, and I've got loads of little scrappy bits. So I thought I'd go Yorkshire tweed, Yorkshire leaves, all very, very autumnal. So I cut out of my backing piece, so I've got a slightly thinner piece for my background, cut out my flag, and then I just made myself a paper template of a leaf shape, and then I've cut out of two different bits of tweed a larger leaf with a little section around the side, and then what I've done is I have gathered together loads of little bits of embellishments. So I've got these little toggles. I think some of them actually were used as teddy bears' eyes, which is a bit creepy. I found a little tassel which I thought is going to look quite cute hanging off the bottom of my flag. That was on one of my pairs of scissors, so that just got chopped off. And even though I'd said in week 44 I'd not really got any orange beads, I went rooting and I found a tin. You know when you have one of those massive accidents where you knock your beads that are all beautifully separated out on the floor and you just have to put them back in a little tin? Well, I found that I'd got some sort of autumnally colours in there, and I also found some little bits that were from, they're not particularly autumnal, but the sort of browns and coppery colours that was from a bracelet that I'd taken to pieces. So I thought, right, just embellish. We'll go embellish, embellish, embellish. So what I'm going to do is I want to stitch this on here first, and then I'm just going to go embellishing crazy. I just put an extra piece of tweed on there just to break up the colour a little bit, because what I want to do is have that there, and then I'm going to do like a really heavily beaded centre to my leaf. So to attach it on, I'm going to do a blanket stitch. That's moved actually, it's not actually on there anymore. There we go. Oh, Duncan might end up coming in, I can hear him meowing. He's still really struggling from the clocks going back an hour because it's messed up his eating routine. So between, what time is it now? 5:15. Between 5:15 and 6, because in his head now it's 6 o'clock, which it actually isn't. So I'm just giving him a bit of dry food. Doesn't make him happy, so I can hear him meowing. So I have no doubt at some point he's probably going to come in. He's been on his own as well this afternoon, so he just wants a bit of love, but he's had a massive cuddle. Right, so I'm going to do a blanket stitch along the edge. So blanket stitch, we start at the top of the stitch, lay that where you're wanting the line to go, and I'm going to do my line going right across the bit that I am attaching over the top. So I'm sort of couching it down with a blanket stitch. Now you have got an option if you want. One of the things that you could do is, as you're going along, you could pop a bead in there. What would that look like? I didn't check to make sure that they'd go on. So I could have a bead. Oh, that's quite nice actually. I had planned on those beads going in that middle bit, but I might have to see if I can find some more of those. So just do your stitch. Stitch, and then pop a bead on. So then your bead ends up on the line. You want to focus, there we go. So then I would do my stitch. There we go. then move along a bit. Oh, I won't put a bead on. Bead on. There we go. Oops. Ow. Stabbed myself. Go. So laying it along my leaf. Grab a bead. Slide it down. Then do a stitch. Oops, sorry. There we go, grab a bead. So it's just working exactly the same. Oh, here he is. Hello. You can't be up here. I love you lots, but you need to go down. It's a good boy. Bless him. Oops, check that's gone all the way through. So the couching bit that you're laying over that strip is going to hold it in place, but the other thing that I think it makes it look quite nice is it sort of looks like the veins of your leaf. So choose a thread that's going to stand out. Take that pin out. Oh, it's back in again. Grab a bead. Oh, this is where he climbs up on tables. So there might be a crash in a minute and he decides to knock something off. Okay. So hopefully you've got the gist of what I'm doing. So make your stitch. You don't have to put the beads on, but actually I think it looks quite nice. Adds another little bit of something onto your piece. So I'm not actually stitching through that bit that I've laid over the top. I'm just using the blanket stitch. Oh, I knew I would get to one that wouldn't go through. There we go. I'm just using the blanket stitch to couch it down. So couching really just means you're trapping something. So you can couch threads, you can couch anything really, anything that will lay onto a piece of fabric and you can stitch over the top. There we go. So for the next bit I've got my beading needles out again and my beading thread, and we're just going to go crazy with embellishments really. Anything that you can stitch on is fair game. And what we're going to do is start off with slightly larger items. So I'm going to put my toggles on, I've got some sequins, I've got some bigger beads, and then I'll fill with smaller beads. So it's going to be like an encrusted leaf. Pin out. I quite like that. Oops. There we go. Last one. Oh no, needle's come off my needle. Why does that always happen when you get right near the edge? I don't know. Helps if you have it with the eye of the needle on. Right, I'm going to pop that one through, just through the actual piece of fabric, just to make sure that that is attached. Right, fasten it off at the back. I'm not going to stitch down the other side yet because by the time I've encrusted it, it might be quite nice that that bit lifts up ever so slightly. So there we've got our, it's like a spine. Focus, there we go, spine with beads around the edge. And then I'm going to start working right next to that bit of fabric there. So I'm going to start with my thicker thread because I want to put my toggles. Love the word toggle. Right, so these little toggles, just grab a toggle, oops, toggle, stitch it down, just give it a good pull. So I'm just going to put a few of these on, got different colours. Oh, they're so cute. I put 2 on, pull it tight, and just do a stitch at the back. So just go with whatever you've got. There could be buttons, beads, big sequins, anything really that you've got that's just going to add a bit of texture to what you're doing. Bit of an embellishment. I like a bit of embellishment in our lives. Bit of bling. Even though I'm not really a blingy person, it is quite nice when you are stitching every now and again to have a little bit of bling. This one's a bit of a pearlescent one. And then I've got one more orangey one, so that one can come down there. So spread them out so that I have got some space in between to start filling in with other things. So this is when you're going to start working smaller and smaller and smaller. And what I'm going to try and do is have it all as embellishment. I don't really want to add any stitching. So there we've got my little toggles. So next thing I have got, I'm going to go onto my beading needle. So I've got some sequins next. So attaching your sequins, the way that I'm going to do it, there's loads of different ways that you can do this. So I've got sort of like some brassy sequins. I'm just going to pop those on, get a bead on my needle, and then just go back down the hole, she says. If it decides that it's going to stop, there we go, back down the hole. And that little bead will anchor it down. So just have a look where you could pop some of these. So pop your sequin down, grab a bead. Hello. Oh, we're up again. Hello, Duncan. Right, do you just want to sit down? Yeah? I'll let you sit down. There you go. You sat down. A good boy. Mwah. You just sit there while I'm stitching them. Yeah. I can hear you purring. And a good boy. Oh yeah. Yeah, you can sit there. Oops, what's happened there? Got that, there we go. Got that coat round that. Why is it that cats have got so much space in your house that they could go in, but they love sitting on what you're doing? I know my friend Liz, her cat loves to sit and play with all her stitching. Hello, Duncan. Are you having a look? You're not. No, we're not having the beads. No. I know you're being all very purry. You are a lovely boy. Yeah. You're saying hello to everybody. I'm saying, oh, you're saying hello to me. Okay, okay. Oh, no, don't go over there. Don't go over there. You stay back here. Come on, you've got a little bit there. Sit down. Sit down. Put your bum down. Bum down. Sit. Thank you. I don't mind you being there as long as you just sat. Yeah. Good boy. So there we go. You've got this week's flag with cat. Yes. With a cat. Right, how many more have I got? I've got one more. So I'll go one more there. So then when I've done a few bits and pieces, like I've always mentioned when I'm doing beading or anything like that, is after you've done so many, is just pop a stitch, ouch, a stitch at the back. Just so that if anything did happen and your threads broke or something, then it just means that everything's not going to jump off. Please don't start emptying my bin. Okay, so there we've got, focus, got my little beads. So then I'm going to go in with, I have got some really cute little shells. These were from a bracelet, I think. Love going to the charity shop and getting bits and pieces. I've got a little tin that has all these little coloured shells in, but it's just one of those things, you just know that the second you run out, you're going to really want a bead that's that colour or that shape, yet you can't get it again. So I've got a few of these to pop in. So to stitch these on, it's just going through, and then it's just going like once, oh no, that's the wrong side. One side, there we go. Come on, down you go. Flip it over. Just going one side and then the other side. So some things you just have to be a little bit creative as to how you're going to stitch them down. So doing 2 or 3 little bits. Duncan, I cannot see. No, right, come on baby. Down you go. Thank you. It's not very easy to stitch with a cat's bum in your face. Very attractive, I have to say. But he is lovely, bless him. It's because there's nobody else in the house, so he can hear me talking. So he just wants to come and join in, bless him. Right, there we go. I've got, how many more have I got? Has that one got a hole in it? Nope. I'll go with that one next. Bit there. Might have to find some more of them because they look quite nice actually. Where's my box? It's there. There we go. So I've done a few bits. Just flip it over, do a little knot at the back. I know sometimes I keep repeating myself with things that I've done, but hey ho. I just basically talk to you all while I'm stitching and just let you know what's going on in my head. So this is my box that I've got with all the bits that all fell on the floor. It was an absolute nightmare. So I had to get the little vacuum cleaner and vac it all up. Don't know whether that's probably not the best. So I'm trying to stick with autumnal colours if I can. Oh, there we go. How many have I done? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That'll be enough. So try and stick another one in there. There we go. And then I'm going to come back in with the beads that I put down the edge, because then you've got that consistency. Just adding bits and pieces in. So again, I'm getting smaller with my beads. So I've got my fragments. If you don't have lots of different sized beads, just go with different colours. So start with darker colours first and then get lighter. And still do the same sort of thing where you choose one particular bead to work with first and then add your next one and add your next one and add your next one. It just helps you build up quite a pleasing sort of composition of it being encrusted. So added the next bit in, and then I'm going to come in, like I say, with some of these bigger beads. So I'm going to start now trying to get things slightly closer together, so I'm beginning to fill gaps. I'm trying to get it as close to the piece of fabric as I can, because I want to sort of hide that edge. So I think this is why working with bigger beads works, but if you've got lots of little ones, it's just going to take a little bit longer, that's all. So there's quite a few companies that do beads. I think I'd put one on the post for week 44, but there's also Spellbound Beads, which usually is at some of the shows, but you can order their stuff online and they have some really, really nice different types of beads. Full range of prices on there as well, even goes right the way through to precious stones and all sorts. So you could totally bling your leaf. There you go. Oops. So you're probably getting the gist of what I'm busy doing, because the next bit that I'm going to do, which is all the little ones, I'm not going to make you sit and watch me do that, as it's basically the same thing that I'm doing now. I'm just going to keep working and adding more and more beads, so that this little line that's coming all the way down, by the time I've finished, it'll be really, really encrusted, that's the word that I'm looking for. It's going to be an encrusted leaf. Right, so if I tie that off, tie that one off, and then I probably will just work with all my little ones that are in my little lid. Find it easier to do that, or have them and just pop them on. I know I've talked about my mats before. Absolutely love these ironing mats to work on. So now it's just going to be about, oops, in that bit, there we go. Just beginning to start beading. And with this one, I know with the one that we did a couple of weeks ago, I did the little like bridges, the little leaf kebabs. I'm not going to do that with this one, because I don't really want things to come off the surface. I just want it to feel really jewel like. So this is going to be a bit of a labour of love, because I'm going to be adding every bead on individually. So what I'm doing now is just mixing the beads up and just getting them as close together as possible. So I'm taking them right down to the bottom of my leaf. I've got a couple of like white ones in there as well, just to add a tiny bit of a highlight. The white ones that I've got are quite nice because they're actually a clear bead, but the inside, so the hole, is the bit that's white. Just a bit different. So this is all I'm going to sit and do now, one after another, just picking my beads up, stitching them on, and I'm just going to be working my way up my piece. So I'm just coming to the end of this thread, which is an ideal opportunity just to stop and show you where I'm up to. So I get them as close together as I can. Oops. There we go. Oh, that one just pinged off. Right, pop that one through, so I'm going to need to rethread my needle. There we go. So if you haven't got any bigger bits to put on, you could put buttons on there. Anything really. So hold that up. Oh, it's back. There we go. So this is here. This is all going to carry on. So it's all going to be totally encrusted. I'll probably come a bit wider there. And then I'll pop some photos at the end of it. But what I'll do is that'll get attached on there. And then, oh Duncan, yes, I've nearly finished. Just jump down a second and I'll be downstairs. Okay, I'm coming. Yeah, and then I'll pop my little tassel on the bottom. Oops, that's quite funny. Flowers, we've got daisies, springtime, leaf, autumn. There you go. It was totally meant to be. Right, can't wait to see your encrusted leaves, and I will see you next week. Love, hugs and happy stitching, everybody. Mwah.